Nobody in this entire country understands basic arithmetic apart from me. Quick maths only exists in my household, I swear it. People are conceding the league. People are telling me that Manchester City have won the league off the back of today's result, and that simply is not the case. The general consensus seems to be that Arsenal needed to win today or beat City away to keep their title hopes alive. That's wrong. That is completely wrong. The point that Arsenal needed from today was a point. Of course, a win would be better. Obviously, a win would be better. But when you are going for the title, it is a marathon. And securing the point that they accrued today, is exactly what they needed. Whatever way you look at it, they needed a result against Manchester City. Regardless of what happened today, as long as they didn't get beat, they needed a result at City. Had they won today, they still needed a result at City because Manchester City's goal difference is superior. So, had they won today, they needed a draw at City. They've drawn today, they need a draw at City. Nothing has really changed. Don't get me wrong, we can come on to how Arsenal are looking. The fact that they've given away 2-goal lead twice in a row. That is unacceptable. I think Mikel Arteta made some mistakes today, and we will come on to that. But writing the league off the back of today's result, when the result doesn't change anything. Arsenal needed a point at Man City, regardless of what happened today. They needed a point. So they've got a draw today, they need a draw at City. Had they won today, do you know what I'd be saying to you? Great win, but they need a draw at City. So in terms of what Arsenal need to do at City, nothing has changed. Why are people saying that the league is basically done, the league is over, City have won the league? Obviously, it's not a good result for Arsenal. And obviously, the league does look like it could be going towards Manchester City. But if you're part of the Arsenal framework, if you are a loyal supporter of Arsenal, you knew that going to City was going to be tough and you knew that you had to get something out of that game. That's still the case. There is nothing massively that has changed for that. And say you draw at City, the league is still in your hands anyway. So I don't think it's necessarily the significant fixture that people are portraying it to be. Look, of course, you'd rather be top of the table than playing catch-up. And if you are playing catch-up, you'd really rather be playing catch-up against a team that isn't Pep Guardiola and Erling Haaland and Jack Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez, and the list goes on and on and on. Look at all the glorious players I named there. Didn't even say Bernardo Silva. That's how good they are. So, obviously, if Arsenal were chasing anyone other than City, this would look like a decent result. I really think it would. Maybe, in context, it isn't good. You know, they were 2-0 up last week. It ended 2-2. They were 2-0 up this week. It ended 2-2. Saka missing the penalty. There are reasons why it isn't looking good. But I don't think in Arsenal, if you analyse it only as through an Arsenal perspective, without the context is Man City. The context is Manchester City don't look like they're going to drop another point between now and the end of the season. But looking at it strictly from an Arsenal perspective, disregarding the ruthlessness of Man City, I don't think it's the curtains result that people seem to be suggesting that it is. Yes, though, there is a vulnerability to Arsenal that needs to end now. For them to have any chance of winning the league. They're going to City in, 10 days' time? This edge that is now existing in Arsenal that just wasn't there. Going 2-0 up so early and not winning the game. Champions win that game. But they built themselves a cushion over Manchester City. That's impressive. Now, they are utilising that cushion. They're having a little bit of a blip. They're giving away results that they shouldn't be doing. They're behaving in a way that they shouldn't. And I suppose I'm being maybe it sounds like I'm being generous. Because I suppose when you analyse the Liverpool result, you can draw away to Liverpool, and as a setback, that setback can be rationalised. It's Anfield, it's Klopp, it's Salah, it's Firmino. It's not easy to win there. Dropping points at a relegation-haunted West Ham, however, does suggest that Arteta's team and Arteta himself and the youthful quality of this Arsenal team are perhaps panicking a touch. They're perhaps making some mistakes. Arteta himself is perhaps making some mistakes. I thought he made some mistakes today. I really do. I think his subs were a little bit all over the place. I thought taking off Gabriel Jesus felt odd at the time. And I think it was proved odd once he went off. The Odegaard thing didn't look happy either. I thought that was odd. And they seemed to lack the thrust that they needed. And the thrust that they needed was Eddie Nketiah. Came on with a couple of minutes left. That's not enough time. Like, I rate Nketiah, and he's been very good for Arsenal. I don't think he's the player that they need. He's obviously, in my opinion at least, incomparable to somebody like Gabriel Jesus. But he scored the goals when Arsenal have needed him to score the goals. So give him a fighting chance. I don't think he would, including the 5 minutes of injury time that were played, he wouldn't have been on the pitch 10 minutes. Like, that's not enough. And obviously the pressure told on Bukayo Saka. Missing a penalty to put his team 3-1 up when you're at the top of the league, when you're going head-to-head with Manchester City, when the team chasing you are the juggernauts that are relentless and incredible, you have to tuck that away. So there is a chink in the armour. And obviously that miss, Saka missed, and it felt like immediately Bowen scored. So, you know, it's an issue, but I do think that Arsenal should remember that they're top with a 4-point cushion. And of course, they've played a game more than Manchester City, and they have to go to the Etihad, and none of that is going to be easy. But if you want to win the league, you know it's not going to be easy. And I don't understand the narrative that's going around at the moment that City are champions. Like, people are saying Arsenal have gone. And look, there is a vulnerability in Arsenal. I'm not saying there isn't. You know, it's the second Sunday in a row that Arsenal have thrown away a 2-goal lead. Consecutive weekends giving away a 2-goal lead. Like, Arsenal Football Club in the Premier League era have never done that before. So it is obviously problematic. It is obviously significant. But I still think if I were an Arsenal fan, I would be believing that we can win the league. That's what I would be saying. If I were an Arsenal fan, that is exactly what I would be saying. So it can be done. They just have to go to City and get a point, which is what they had to do regardless of what happened today. So I don't think they should let this result knock them. I think overall what's going on at Arsenal is a little bit more of an issue. And they made mistakes today. I think the players let Arteta down a bit. I think Arteta made some bad decisions, and maybe the youthful nature of this Arsenal team. There is a naivety to this Arsenal team. But they're going head-to-head with Pep Guardiola's team. That is incredibly impressive. And look, today, it was a chaotic game, and it was huge. I just don't see it as being the great momentum swing that some people seem to think it is. I really don't. The reason that it's significant, though, is because Arsenal had this game in the palm of their hand and they didn't win it. That is a problem. They should not be getting themselves into a situation where they aren't winning a game, where they have scored twice in the opening 10 minutes. But, weirdly, I can remember about this time last year, Manchester City got a 2-2 draw with West Ham United, remember? And, obviously, they went on to win the league. So, there is definitely a world where Arsenal can do it. And like I say, I don't see it as being as significant as everyone else. Arsenal had to get something at Manchester City before the game. Had they won the game, they would have had to get something at Manchester City. And today, off the back of a point at West Ham, they still have to get a point at least at City. There we have it. Big, big game. I'm now going to tune in to watch Manchester United. And do you know what's really depressing about this? I'm watching this game through the lens of hoping that Manchester United win so that Forest don't close the gap on Chelsea in the relegation fight. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would be honoured if you would click that subscriber button. We are edging ever closer to 250,000 subs. Please help me get there. If you're new around here, my name's Rory. I talk about football a lot, and it would be my honour to welcome you into this community. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be reviewing the Manchester United game. So I'll see you on this channel in a couple of hours. In a bit, yo.